Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, expressed the unique American concept of a constitutionally limited federal government when he said, in questions of political power, speak to me not of confidence in men, but just bind them down from mischief with the chains of a constitution. Does this mean that an 18th century constitution prevents the nation from ever acting through the federal government to do something which a majority wants done? No. The people, by due process, can amend the Constitution, granting power which they want government to have. By no other means can the Constitution be legally changed, or limitations of the power of government legally altered. A Supreme Court decision is not constitutionally valid if it reads into the Constitution or its amendments some meaning not there when the Constitution and its amendments were adopted. Presidential decrees and acts of Congress are constitutionally invalid no matter what the Supreme Court says, and no matter how many previous decrees and acts may be cited as precedents, if said decrees and acts are not patently constitutionally authorized. Obeying the Constitution does not mean obedience by the people. It means obedience by the federal government. The Constitution is a binding contract adopted by the people, meaning exactly what it says, to be obeyed meticulously by all agents and agencies of government, to be changed only by explicit constitutional process. Legislative, executive, and judicial usurpation of power has violated the Constitution so long and so outrageously that this nation is sinking day by day into a morass of lawless tyranny. We cannot reestablish constitutional government and restore our free republic until a decisive number of Americans understand our organic documents of government and use them as guides to political action. The organic documents are the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution as amended. In the report on which this broadcast is based, and in the report for the broadcast next week, I publish full text of our organic documents of government. The Declaration of Independence is too short to fill one whole report. The Constitution and its 24 amendments are too long for one report. So, in the report on which this particular broadcast is based, I publish the full text of the Constitution of the United States, as written by the Founding Fathers at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, 1787, and as adopted by the original 13 states in the American Union. The actual text is prefaced with brief commentary on the meaning of the Constitution, the commentary taken largely from the Founding Fathers themselves. My broadcast next week will give full text of the Declaration of Independence and of all constitutional amendments with commentary. My hope is that a significant number of Americans will get, read, pass on to others, and discuss these documents, which are the foundation stones of our greatness as a nation, the only bulwarks to protect our liberties as civilized human beings. Unless a significant number of Americans do study these organic documents of government and use them as guides to political action, our republic is doomed. A constitution is meaningless unless it is construed to mean exactly what it says, and unless the agents of government sworn to uphold the Constitution are compelled to obey all its provisions explicitly. You should not vote for any politician who consistently, by his voting in Congress and by his support of federal programs and policies, violates the Constitution. You cannot depend on the politicians to tell you whether they violate the Constitution. They all tell you they respect and obey it. You cannot depend on any agents of government in the judicial, executive, or legislative branches to tell you what your Constitution means. You must read it yourself to find out. When you find out, you should do your utmost to remove from public office every official who violates the Constitution's clear meaning, if you want to save your own freedom and help restore your republic. All who order copies of this broadcast will receive the full text of the Constitution of the United States